Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time we've got the pleasure of watching CptNiNjAcAT, what a fantastic name that is, playing in his M60. Now what is this tank? Well, this was the first Clan Wars reward vehicle, which makes it very unusual, and as time goes on and accounts become inactive, these vehicles are getting rarer and rarer. For all intents and purposes, you should consider this replay to be very similar to an M48 patterns. So, if you really like this replay, you can't get your hands on this M60 anymore. Not even I have one of these vehicles. However, you could pick yourself up an M48 pattern and have very similar gameplay. Now, CptNiNjAcAT is in a very nice matchup here. He is one of only 2 tier 10 tanks, excluding the self-propelled gun, on his team and the enemy team. There is a rather dangerous Batchat on the enemy team. Rusty Fishhook, he's going to have to deal with him. And as he is playing on Himmelsdorf, it's very likely that he's going to be going up onto the hill. Now, what are the differences between the M60 and the M48 in a nutshell? Well, the M60 has flat armor, which is thinner on the hull at the front. It doesn't have that convex shape that the M48 has. It also has a rather large cupola on top of the tank. It's fatter than the M48's, but the angling on it actually makes it slightly stronger, but it still is a weak point. Apart from that, well, what do you get? You've just found out that this thing has got worse hull armor and a fatter weak point on top of the tank that is still penetratable by every single tank that this vehicle will meet. Well, it gains gun handling. It's more accurate, it's got lower aim time, it's got less dispersion when it turns the turret and after it fires. And also, it has slightly better terrain resistances, even though its engine power is slightly less. And its top speed limit is just a touch higher. And all of these clan reward tanks are pretty similar to a vehicle that's already in the game. None of them are completely new, novel tanks. That would be pretty unfair on the 99.9% of the World of Tanks population that never get these vehicles, I guess, or have any opportunity to get them, outside of investing a lot of time in Clan Wars. So, CptNiNjAcAT is now ripping apart this 110. We haven't quite seen the Batchat yet. Worried about when he's going to appear. He's already done 2,000 damage, and there's the Batchat. The Batchat must have been unloading from around this area on the map on his friends below. He takes a big hit there from the 50-120. But can he finish him off? He's got to be worried about that Batchat. As we mentioned earlier, he's a very dangerous player. But the 50-120 makes a huge mistake and gets taken out of the game rather quickly indeed. The Batchat puts one into the Centurion 7-1 behind. And then do you see how the Batchat's driving back? CptNiNjAcAT manages to finish off the 110, and the Batchat couldn't be any more obvious as to the fact that he's reloading. The way that he turned his turret away, he looked so disinterested. The Batchat should have faked that he still had shells left in the game. An absolutely novice mistake by at least a statistically very strong player on the enemy team. And CptNiNjAcAT is just feasting on his vehicle there, nearly ramming him to death, but the Centurion 7-1 finishes him off. And now he wants to go for this M48. A lovely kill into the lower plate there. Great awareness by CptNiNjAcAT. I'm not sure if he was counting the shells from the enemy Batchat. If he was, brilliant play. Or if maybe the Batchat just lost his cool and made it really obvious that he was reloading. But great play, 4,500 damage and 3 kills in the first 4 minutes of this game. Showing you that when the M48 or the M60 here gathers momentum, it is able to have quite a good game. The VK notices he's been getting shot in the butt, but doesn't think there's anything that he can do about it, because there's an E100, an E75, and a KV4 in front of him. If he turns, then he's dead anyway. And so he just accepts that he's going to sacrifice 1,000 hit points to the M60 behind him. Now CptNiNjAcAT, unsatisfied with taking out one tier 9 German heavy tank, decides to start feasting on the other one as well. He puts a good hit into the side there. The E75, unlike the VK, which has got pretty good track traverse, turns his tank around to try and fight off this tier 10 American medium tank that's giving him a hard time. Now, unfortunately for CptNiNjAcAT, the E75 puts in a good shot there, 441 damage. Also tracking him And CptNiNjAcAT decides that it's time to use his repair kit. I'm not sure if that was the right decision to use his repair kit there. Maybe he just wanted that kill really, really badly. I'm pretty sure the KV-4 and the E-75 would have been able to kill the enemy E-75 if he'd just let them. So, having dealt with 2 Tier 9 German medium tanks, there's another E-75 who's holding... Oh gosh, how many times can I say E-75 in this video? Very popular tanks back. But CptNiNjAcAT decides that it's better if he tries to flank the E-75. God, how many more times can I say that? This is getting ridiculous. So he's got him in position now. Puts a good shot into the side of his vehicle and pulls back round the corner to evade the wrath of the Tier 9 German heavy tank. He comes back out, puts another shot in, but this one doesn't hit the side armor, only tracking the enemy vehicle. Come on, you've got to finish him off, buddy. 341. I'd like a refund on that shell, please. That is a low roll. But luckily, the third shot into the enemy tank finishes him off. An M53-55, a wild M53-55 appears, but a good shot by CptNiNjAcAT. Showcasing the great gun handling on this vehicle, finishes off that Tier 9 American self-propelled gun before he was probably able to end CptNiNjAcAT's role in this game. So there's an enemy Jagdpanzer E100, a Type 62, and a rather dangerous player in a T92 left on the enemy team. This game is far from safe. But it looks like NinJaCat throws caution to the wind as decides to race his way across. And the T92 and the Jagdpanzer E100 look like they went back to defend their cap circle against the M60. CptNiNjAcAT realizes that Jagdpanzer E100 could come round the corner any minute behind him and put that 170mm shell through the back of his tank, so he decides to be aggressive, going after the KV-4. The Waffenträger Alpha E100 on his team finishes him off, and that allows CptNiNjAcAT to go after the small fry on the enemy team. This Type 62 has it coming. Good kill there. Putting CptNiNjAcAT's damage total in this game up to 8,372 and 7 kills secured. Talk about carrying hard in your American medium tanks. Now, one thing I love about CptNiNjAcAT is he seems like he's a really good bloke. With the way that he's interacting with the team, trying to say, let's move together, we can do this, so on and so forth. And as you will see later on, even more exemplary for just his coolness in the game. He seems like somebody who I wouldn't mind to have on the enemy team, let alone on my team. So CptNiNjAcAT has locked down the Jagdpanzer E100 with the WT Alpha E100 and the E75 on his team. He was probably worried about the T92 covering the rear there, and that's why he slowed down a little bit as he came around the corner. The Jagdpanzer E100 looks like he's coming out, but decides to stop. And so CptNiNjAcAT doesn't want to waste any time, and he wants to start putting rounds into the behemoth of a tank on the enemy team. It still has 1,823 health left. Now the Jagdpanzer E100 pushes forwards, but he's tentative. He doesn't really want to come round the corner. I guess he thinks that the M60 could be up on the hill or could be down that D line. And so he feels like he wants to stay in the narrow pass. But CptNiNjAcAT has outmaneuvered and outplayed him here as he puts one into the back of that tank. He pulls back around the corner, terrified of where the T92 could come from. That's the biggest gun in the game, I believe, on the T92. You don't want to get hit by it. And oh my god, it's right there! Luckily for him, it hits the wall, only doing 94 damage in splash, but also tracking him. Without a repair kit, CptNiNjAcAT has no chance to be able to accelerate the process of getting out of the situation. Can you believe that even though the M60 was here and the T92 hit the corner, it was still able to do a little bit of damage to him? Well, 94 damage, and also track his tank. But now CptNiNjAcAT knows where the two enemy tanks are. I think he believes that the Jagdpanzer E100 has come out, turned right, and trying to go down this flank. And so he's securing a position where he can try and get the Jagdpanzer E100 into a crossfire with the WT Alpha E100 on his team. Now that WT Alpha E100 has got such low health that even if a mouse was to sneeze on him right now, he would die. Spots the T-92. Oh no! A good clutch shot there. He had to fire that one clutch. Who knows what those two gigantic guns would do if they were able to get even a whiff of his tank. I bet you CptNiNjAcAT wishes that shell had gone into the T-92 there. He'd love to take out one of these tier 10 vehicles on the enemy team. So CptNiNjAcAT is just spotting the Jagdpanzer E100, holding him in place. And the Jagdpanzer E100 is a stubborn fellow. Chuckles on the enemy team, doesn't want to come around the corner because he, and quite rightly so, believes that the Waffenträger Alpha E100 could be on the D. However, he's in the cap circle. The enemy Jagdpanzer E100 reacts immediately, and for some reason the WT Alpha E100 fails to penetrate the Jagdpanzer E100. He sounds like he's using the 150mm gun, and he was unable to do any damage to the Jagdpanzer E100. However, CptNiNjAcAT now has the Jagdpanzer E100 tracked, and the T-92 is fired. This is your opportunity, CptNiNjAcAT. No, you missed the track again! Oh, disaster! What is going on? You could have closed the distance there and got behind them. Oh, gosh. Absolute nightmare at the end of the game. With the Jagdpanzer E100 snatching a victory from the jaws of defeat. So after a flawless performance where CptNiNjAcAT was carrying his team super hard, one mistake fed the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 the victory. I think it was pretty unfortunate for CptNiNjAcAT that the Waffenträger Alpha E100 on his team was unable to put a single round against the Jagdpanzer E100. He played terribly at the end of the game. The WT Alpha E100 should have realized that the T-92 was in this little gap here. When he came round the corner, all he had to do was poke his little turret out and start blasting the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 from this position. From here, he wouldn't have been able to get shot by the T-92, but instead decided to YOLO his way out into the open, fire a couple of shots, giving the T-92 enough time to turn around, then drove here and somehow got shot in the back of the turret while facing completely the wrong direction. So I guess CptNiNjAcAT didn't account for his own team. But nevertheless, I think even with the distraction by the WT Alpha E100, he should have known that that T-92 was reloading and taken a much bigger chunk out of the Jagdpanzer E100 while he had the opportunity. I personally would have liked to seen him close the distance, go down this corridor. He would have had a nearer shot on the Jagdpanzer E100 and forced him to turn even further, giving him more time to get shots into the tank. And what he was doing at the end, I guess trying to bait the Jagdpanzer E100 into shooting his tracks, that really is very risky. There was still 4 minutes left on the game. I think he could have disengaged completely and then tried to use this corridor just like he was to keep harassing the enemy Jagdpanzer E100. He could have even gone down this corridor from this direction and used his hopefully superior camo rating and view range to be able to spot the Jagdpanzer E100 and to get free shots into him from afar. But I digress. I'm not really going to take much away from CptNiNjAcAT this game. He carried a tremendous game on Himmelsdorf, picking up over 10,000 damage. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So firstly, let's just read the message that CptNiNjAcAT submitted with this. He says, "Admittedly, I played this incorrectly at the end. I should have done a number of things differently than I did, and as a result, we lost the game. The WT blundered heavily. I did so as well. Nevertheless, this is such a heartbreak. Well played to the Jagdpanzer E100. And I have to give all credit to the T-92. Both of them did so much work." Talk about being humble. CptNiNjAcAT, you are a true gentleman and good sportsman. That's what made this even more painful that you're unable to win. I'm not sure if this is a bug, but this looks like it was CptNiNjAcAT's first ace tanker in this vehicle, which is surprising because you must have had it for at least 2 years now. But I'm sure getting marks of excellence and also ace tankers is very tricky in a vehicle that must be played by only the most experienced and arguably better players. So unsurprisingly, this was a high caliber medal for CptNiNjAcAT, and it was such a heartbreak that he didn't get the Radley Walters as well for his 10,194 damage. CptNiNjAcAT showed some excellent marksmanship this game, hitting 32 out of 33, and of those, 28 penned. The gun handling on the M60 certainly is a cut above what the M48 is now. And I regret not getting one of these tanks, because if it was at all like what the M48 was like in patch 7.5, oh, I missed that kind of gun handling. With the captain gaining 1,354 base experience, and making a tidy 60,000 credits profit. CptNiNjACAT, thank you so much for sending me this replay. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was very interesting for me to see what the M60 is capable of in the hands of some very skilled players such as yourself. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as well. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And let me know what you think of the M48A1 pattern. It's actually my most played tank in the game, but I rarely play it anymore because there are so many other medium tanks that I feel just do everything just a little bit better. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.